All righty, we're back. We are Nate and Simone. We talk all things marketing. Today, how do you build a referral engine without being salesy? Some of you rely on referrals for your business. That word of mouth, it has to be you're doing your networking calls and you've got happy customers. But are those referrals consistent, or do does it depend on you remembering to to ask for that referral? What's going on there? So if you want to learn more about us and keep these videos coming, feel free to subscribe, turn on the bell so you get notified whenever we're on. Right, let's get to it. Hey, Nate, let's talk
Hello,
about
hello.
referrals.
Absolutely, absolutely. Referrals are great, aren't they?
Yes, they're wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. Um, they, among the many reasons why referrals are great is that they have a very high rate of conversion, right? Probably the highest rate of conversion. Uh, if someone likes what you have to offer enough to send someone your way, then the chances are very good that they have spoken highly of you, and it's just a matter of getting them on a call, saying hi, and where to sign on the dotted line, right?
Exactly. They come to
um,
you already halfway convinced.
right, yeah. Well, ideally, the person that sent them your way has already sung your praises and done all the work for you, right? Um,
Yeah,
And so there's no better way, to get somebody on your side than to word of mouth, right? Word of mouth marketing. That's what we're talking about. Um, so anyway, but here's the thing about that. A lot of people rely heavily on referrals in their business to the point where they do nothing, almost nothing else as far as lead generation and
ours-
that kind of thing.
yeah.
That can be that can be risky, to say the least. And to kind of sit back on your laurels and kind of hope for referrals is also not a viable strategy. So what we're talking about here, we're trying to get away from the cheesy ask scripts and networking awkwardness, that people find themselves in a lot of times. Um, we're going to talk about how to build value in your business and viability, right? Through advocacy. It's part of the three V's that we talk about a lot. All right. So first
Mhm.
off, why most referrals are random. There's a myth in the business world of do good work and they'll come, right? If you build it, they'll come. But in this
Yeah,
case, do good work and they'll come. So if the idea here is that if you are doing a great job, um, then you should, be that should help you to generate your next customers because, well, why is because a lot of people just think, well, if I'm working
I
really
guess
hard, then
it's
that
supposed
means I'll get more
people are
customers, right?
supposed to. Yeah, people are supposed to naturally know that you did such a great job.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. How are they going to know?
that
How are they going to find out?
people. Yeah, it might work for some people depending on, say, you're in construction and you're architect, and the building that just went up is beautiful, and everybody wants to know who designed it. But if your work isn't public like that, nobody's gonna know that you did such a great job.
Yeah, a lot of us are building things unseen, right? Um, okay,
Yeah, in
so
obscurity.
yeah, so the fact of the matter is that doing great work is like the baseline. Okay, that is, it's
Mm.
like somebody said, um, you don't. Oh, so yeah, I'm trying to figure out remember how they phrased it. You don't receive. recognition and rewards for the things you're supposed to do, right? So,
Exactly, right? Yeah, yeah.
this is like one of those things. Doing great work is like that's
That's
table stakes.
standard.
You got to do that
That's
to stay in the
yeah,
game.
that's the bottom line right there. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And it
Um,
makes sense,
but
right? If yeah, you're
yeah,
in business, you promise to help somebody, do great work.
right.
That's just the
But
basics.
the referrals don't come automatically from that, unfortunately. The fact is that your clients that you're helping and doing great work for, they're busy. They have their own lives to lead. They have their own businesses to take care of, and that kind of thing. Um, and even if they loved what you did for them, um, they might not even think about referring your work to others, unless you
Maybe
kind
they're
of
just
guide them.
busy enjoying the result.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're just happy, that transaction
They're
is ended.
happy that the
Great.
problem has been
Whew.
solved.
Out of sight,
Yeah,
out of mind. All right, on to the
yeah,
next thing. On to the next problem to solve, right?
right.
Um, but without keeping the idea of visibility in mind when it comes to interacting with your clients and when it comes to building a referral engine in your business, and without prompting them, frankly, even those happy clients are just going to move on, like I said, to the next thing, and that's it. Um, you and but kind of in the same vein here, if you are relying on your reputation alone, that puts you in sort of a reactive mode to some degree. You're waiting and hoping instead of actively guiding the outcome, right? So that we're
Yeah,
trying to get away from that. That's the randomness that you don't need. Um, so why do referrals stall out? And I think we've already touched on it to some degree, but visibility, right? Lack of visibility, out of sight, out of mind. If you
mhm.
are not keeping in touch with the clients that you provided this great work for, you're not staying top of mind with them. You're It's just kind of one of those things. Like you just get lost, right, in the day to day of their lives. You probably, there's a good chance you don't have a structure or a system built around this, and you don't have that trigger that will get your client to take the action to refer people to you, right? Um, so there's a difference here. We're talking the main difference we're talking about here is passive and orchestrated referrals. Passive, you're kind of this is the way leads have come to you in the past. I don't know why people just keep telling people about me, and that's just kind of I've been getting along that way. Um, it's kind of out of your control. People are having conversations about you, and you're not in the room.
You're not
You know,
there.
there's a certain amount of risk involved in there, right? As
Yeah,
opposed to orchestrating those referrals and having a system built around this, right? Big difference. Um, so
absolutely.
if, for example, if you are in the stabilization phase of your business, you're trying to get your feet under you, um, you have some things in place, but you still need to work to get to where you're trying to go here. Businesses in that case will often lean too hard on inconsistent word of mouth, right? That's where they don't have that referral engine in their built in their system. It's all about being passive and just hoping for the best in that regard. But if you are in, for example, a much further along and you're ready to grow as in your business, then you really need to focus on turning those referrals leads into getting away from luck, turning it into leverage. So that's what we're talking about here.
Mhm.
Um, so
I
visibility,
understand that being
yeah,
passive is not a great position to be in. You basically abdicate your control. You're
right,
not in control. You don't have much of a say. in what's going on out there where people are talking about you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So thing to remember here, visibility creates those opportunities, but viability converts them, right? So having a viable process system in your business. Um, okay, so let's look at what a referral system actually is. First off, it's not about being awkward, asking awkwardly, for referrals. It's about having structure around your generosity, structured generosity. So what do we mean by a referral system? First off, clear moments of value delivery. So for example, after you deliver a big win for one of your clients, like you hit a revenue milestone or you complete a major project, highlight that result clearly. Um, even go to the extent as far as creating a case study, perhaps. But in the wrap up conversation with the client, right, it becomes a natural moment to say or to ask, who else do you know that might need this kind of help? Simple, right?
I think this is a great place to put in a little feedback too. Um, get a testimonial. Say, hey,
Oh
would you
yeah,
mind, would you mind giving your feedback? Like, would you give this 5 stars? And if so, your comments, like, what do you think about how we helped you? Like where you were before and how do you
yeah,
feel now about it? So that gets a referral, it gets feedback, it gets quotes. But then after that, then ask one, who else do you know could use could use that?
yeah, yeah,
I think it's a good place to ask that.
and have that be part of the system. Like that happens every time with a client.
Mhm.
It's predictable. Um, you never know. You don't know for sure what's going to come out of that, but chances are pretty good that if you're having the conversation one on one with the client, they're going to be thinking about it. And that if they're in a good mood because you've delivered something for them, by golly, they're going to put that into action, and you're helping to kind of facilitate that. And going back to what
Oh,
Simone said, having testimonials, reviews, all of that is kind of like the modern day version of word of mouth marketing. Those are the salespeople that are out there singing your praises 24/7, 365, that don't require necessarily someone to have a one-on-one conversation. They're right there singing your praises all the time, right? And
all the
that
time.
is
Yeah.
that is a form of word of mouth marketing, if you think about it. Um,
Yeah. It's electronic word of mouth. Well, there's a statistic, and I can't remember the actual statistic, but it says something like yeah, 70, 80% of your clients would give you a testimonial or would give you a referral, but most only like business owners only ask about like 10, 13% of the time. So
yeah,
it really comes down to asking. And so with a system in place where you're asking every single time, then that referral rate goes way up, wouldn't it?
yeah, yeah. And
Um, it's about automating your asking.
and
Never forget it.
I can understand where when it comes to especially like video testimonies, for example, that could get logistically tricky to try to
Mhm.
reproduce that at scale every time, right? And so, luckily, there are tools available out there to help with that
Tools
situation.
and platforms. That's
Um,
right.
so,
Send them a link, hit the
yeah,
record button. There you go, and it gets
yeah,
sent to you.
yeah,
So I
you
haven't
can,
actually used that, but I think that's probably how it works, right?
yeah, pretty much. the ones that I've seen, that's how it works. And you can do a Google search and find find one.
Yeah.
But it's all about trying to make it as easy as possible. Um,
Yeah.
you know,
And the
uh,
cool thing is it connects with your CRM, so it can really be
mhm,
automatic and seamless.
yeah, definitely. I have an automation set up for every time that I send out an invoice. It they my clients get a automated email that says, "Thanks for working with us. We really appreciate your service. If you think about it, if you have time, please leave a review." Every time. Um,
Great.
um, another thing to think about here too. So there's post projects, like specifically just after certain projects, right? But then also after you have, for example, a webinar or an online, group meeting, cohort, something like that. If you say something like, if you found this valuable, would you be open to sharing it with someone in your network? Something like that. All of these are
Yeah. And
relatively
you know what?
good.
I've heard that people go even further than that, by telling you exactly what to say.
Hmm.
Because, like we were talking about earlier, right? It's kind of awkward having people having conversations about you and your services outside of you, and they're not in the room. Sometimes you want to know, and you want to make sure that they actually say the right thing. And so, um, you can set up some system when you are asking them to refer you to say this.
Hmm.
Tell them, or you don't necessarily have to even give them the exact words, but give them a guideline. Well, I started here, and then I started working with Nate, and now I'm here. You know,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah, uh,
great that's a great way
yeah,
to refer somebody.
yeah. Before, during, and after framework. That would be
Yeah,
that's the ideal situation, really. Um,
absolutely.
and in that kind of thing, especially if we're talking about video testimonials and written reviews, believe it or not, that figures into your searchability, and like SEO comes into play there because there's certain keywords that are involved, etc. Some people go so far as to fake these and include keywords specifically. So don't do that.
Oh,
Don't do that.
yeah.
Don't recommend that. But yeah, it's always better to try to make it as honest and authentic as possible, because at the end of at the end of the day, really what really matters is the people's perceptions, the people that are finding these things and looking at them. And people can tell if it's fake or not, right? So you want you want to make sure
Yeah.
that it's not. Uh, all right. Uh,
And then some prospects will actually ask for, can you connect me with a past client or a current client? And so if all of your testimonials are fake,
mhm.
then, you can't connect them with a current client or past
Yeah.
client because, you know, either there aren't any or they were say you made up all of
Yep.
the testimonials.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that
Um,
can get tricky.
all right. So here's ways to be strategic about your referral, and what like the triggers that you set up inside the business. So, for example, onboarding. When you're onboarding a new client, you at right from the start, you can say, let them know that you grow through referrals, and that you're going to check in after the results are delivered to see who they can refer you to. Be upfront about it right from the start. Get them all, they're already thinking about it, right? If you
Absolutely.
are post project, if you're offboarding them at that time, you can say, who else can we help? with this. Just that is, it can be that simple, but it's every time it's operationalized. This is something that happens, right? This is part of the process. Maybe even at certain happy milestones, right? We kind of touched on this before, but
Mm.
if they've given you a strong testimonial, right, then at that time would be perfect to say, well, who else do you know that can benefit from this, right? Um, there's
Yeah.
always
Yeah, I
always
like
think
the
of how
fact that
you
like it
can.
doesn't necessarily have to be at the end of the project. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
It,
Sorry.
no, it can be right in the middle of it too. It's always just
Yeah.
always be thinking of how and when you can ask for it. I think that's key.
Mm.
All right. So let's think about who may be referring you currently. Um, Current clients, that's often a source. Maybe past clients who have had a positive experience with you, obviously. Um, do you have partners, vendors, collaborators that you work with? Um, are you, excuse me, maybe someone in your peer network, mastermind groups, things along those lines? If you start to think of what groups of, like, what channels am I involved in, right? What are my channels for potential leads? And how can I kind of work these channels to get more referrals? Um, think about each group. So are they clear? Is it clear what exactly you do? For me, I've actually gone as far as creating a referral specific page that kind of outlines what it is I do, why they would want to connect me to people, and who exactly I should be connected to, right? Um,
Yeah.
that answers a lot of these questions, right? Right up front. A lot of people will have like a one pager that they give out to the networking contacts that they've made, or potential referral sources. Um, and a lot of times, if you can make it as simple as, here's a message that you can drop into your LinkedIn DMs to introduce me to somebody, you know, make it that simple. Uh, and just
Yeah.
here, yeah.
I've seen people even create for like Canva template. You stick your face in and says, "Hey, I am uh, I'm with so and so, and they're great," and and you download it and post it on your socials.
hmm
Yeah.
I, Simone, you kind of broke up there. Your internet seems to be giving you fits today.
Oh, it is. It is. It's actually been giving me fits for the past few days, so I apologize, people. So my the one of the things that I saw somebody do was to actually send you a Canva template. You open the Canva template, put your picture in it, and and it has some text in it that says, I'm attending this person's event, or I had a great time at this person's event, or you know, that kind of thing. So
Wow,
yeah,
wow. Okay,
it can
yeah.
get elaborate like that, or it can just be, this is how you talk about my services to your friends,
hmm
colleagues.
Nice. Um, yeah, and um, in my networking connections that I make, in my follow-up emails that I send to them, I always have a list of uh, like typical questions um, that people ask. So I can get it out here real fast.
That's good. So when they ask this, say this kind of a thing.
Yeah,
That's cool.
exactly. Yeah. Like, what do I do? How do I do it? Who do I do it for? Um, and then answer
Hmm.
those questions and send that out and kind of like copy paste it, right? And send it out every time to the people to kind of help them think
Yeah,
of, okay, when I hear this, then I'm going to associate that with, you know, Nate or whoever, because I know that's what they do, right? Just make it easy for people
it's fantastic.
to
Hmm.
think it through. Um, okay, so okay, now let's speaking of tools, triggers, templates, building systems is important here, right? So you could have an email sequence, for example, for your networking or referral partners. Simone and I were talking about this earlier. I want to reconnect with some networking contacts that I have. Should I drop them into an automated sequence? Should I reconnect with them individually first, using information from our past meetings, for example? It's kind of depends on how much work you want to put into it, I guess. If you think that the relationship could be potentially valuable, you're probably going to want to put more work into it. But um, there's something to be said though for automating the process, especially if you have a lot, right? If there's hundreds of people that you need to reconnect with and kind of reignite this campaign, maybe you want to just automate the process. It could be just as simple as, "Hi, how you been? What's new in your business? It's been a while, since we last met." Um, it doesn't have to
And
be
automation
anything
doesn't
earth shattering.
necessarily, the automation, because a lot of people are afraid of not having a personal touch when it comes to the automation. You can let the automation get you started, and then when people reply, you take over.
Yeah,
So that the people who don't reply, they continue to get automated messages. The people who do reply get your personal touch, you
yeah.
know?
You
So
can, to the point
it
where you
doesn't have
can,
to be one or the other. It can be both.
yeah, a lot of automated email systems you can set as the goal. If they reply to an email, then they've reached the goal, and they're taken out of the automated sequence at that point. And then
Yeah.
you would be able to respond from your other email system, whatever that may be. Like in my case, I use Gmail, right? So I have my automated email sequence
Yes.
over here, but in the reply to address, I put my Gmail account so that if they reply to it, it goes to my Gmail and I can take over from there in that area.
Mm. Yeah.
Um,
Even uh, when they reply, but notification that goes to you to reply back to a text, a phone call, set up a meeting, something like that. So yeah, and it looks like my internet is still unstable.
yep. We lost you on
But
that one
yeah,
too, I think. But
it, yeah. But yeah, there's multiple ways to stay in contact with people and let the automation remind you, send you notifications. Like say if they reply to your email, to notify you to or to put a task on your task list
yeah,
to make a phone call or send them a text,
yep,
or
yep,
so
yep,
the whole thing doesn't have to be automated. We are talking
yeah,
person to person. You know we're business people. We're dealing with
yep.
people. So
Yeah, it could just be a reminder that
yeah.
says, it's been 30 days, get in touch with so and so. Um,
Mhm.
something along those lines. Well, I actually have that set up right now. I haven't turned it on yet, but it's been more than 30 days. Get in touch with so and so. Remember to go back and look at the previous meeting that you had, just as a reminder to
Yeah.
myself. Um,
Yeah.
and so that way that gives you something to actually, talk about in the email that you're sending, right? Um, but
That's
I
right.
think I mentioned this earlier, having an automated email that goes out when you complete a service of some kind, right? Or when someone pays you for something. if they're paying you, hopefully they're happy with the service that you provided. And at that point, you can kick out an email that says, hey, if you had a great experience, then please share this with others, etc. Something along those lines.
Right.
You can also in your system, right? Building your system, having content that can get shared, right? Case studies, any kind of short wins, nice little sound bites, like I mentioned earlier, one pagers, that kind of information that someone can say, here, take a look at this guy. If you like him, get in touch, etc. Just make it as easy as possible. Let's see here. No, I just have on my notes here. Referral partner brief sheets. Who, what, when, why. Same thing. Okay. So triggers that can make it natural for you to ask instead of awkward and bizarre. Anytime there's a win, you just doubled my monthly recurring revenue. Awesome. Can you do this for my friend over here, etc. Feedback moments. Would you be willing to share this with someone in your circle? Something like that. Like they're saying great things about you, right? So these, again, you're building viability in your business, in your system, and that helps to sustain your business. And doesn't, if it's automated and it's part of the process, then it takes it off of your shoulders having to remember to do it every time, right? It's just because this is the thing that gets done, right? Have a checklist, of the things that you talk about when you're offboarding someone from a project, or onboarding for that matter, same thing. If it's just the same process every time, this is why doctors and nurses and pilots all use checklists, right?
Checklist, right? There's certain things that need to be done every single time without fail.
And the reason that they have them in a checklist is so they don't have to remember to do it, So,
Exactly.
and this
Exactly.
is the checklist. These are the things I have to do, right? Um,
Mhm.
all right. So, okay. Here's some common hesitations that a lot of business owners uh, have, right? I don't want to be pushy. You might be saying that at the back of your mind. I don't really want to be pushy. Um, they were so great to work with, blah blah blah. I don't want to step over bounds. Or they'll refer someone to me if they want to. I'm not gonna push them to it. Well, okay.
Yeah. Need some
Again, going
mindset
back
shifts
to
there.
yeah, going back to what we said, don't
Mm.
trust that. You know, they
Right.
they have 1,000 other things that they need to think about. They're business owners. You understand that.
They're
Um,
thinking about the next problem they have to solve. So
yeah, yeah. They're
you're
not going
not
to do
being
it
pushy.
unless you ask them to, frankly. In a lot of cases. Sometimes that's not, sometimes they will, but that might be more up to the type of person they are than the experience they had with you. Who knows? But again, you're trying to systematize this, make it part of um, the revenue generating portion of your business. Like this is a source of potential revenue for you. Don't miss out on it. Okay. Um, so yeah, reframing it, right? If you feel that what you're doing is valuable, then you're actually giving someone the chance to refer you, right? It's almost like a gift that they're giving to their contact, right? It's not a burden, you know.
Hmm.
You're gonna you did a great job helping their business, they want to help their friend over here by referring them to you so that you can help their business as well. So um and again, this is not selling necessarily, right? You're enabling their generosity. Oh, you're helping them be generous, right?
And back to that comment about gift. Um, it's a gift from them to the person that they refer, but the chance to refer you is also a gift to them because it helps them to be to think about the good that they've received, and
Mhm.
now they have that opportunity to now pay it forward to someone
Yeah.
else. So that's actually a gift for them as well.
Yeah.
It is a wonderful thing to be able to do something for somebody else, and it makes us feel good. So that is a gift.
Yeah.
That's a gift to the person who's actually doing the referring to your client.
Mhm. There's a concept called reciprocity bias in psychology, where if you are given something, then you almost feel guilty, and you really have to, give back in some way. Um,
Yeah.
and you can actually use this to your advantage in marketing. Only use these things for good, though, right? But
Well, this is why we do lead magnets. Part of
yeah,
the reason why we do lead magnets is we give something for free, and hoping for that reciprocity, hoping that that person will feel like, oh wow, this is valuable, this thing that you gave me for free,
yeah.
or this time that you've given me. I feel obligated now to give back to you.
Yeah, Alex Hormozy talks about this, where you give and you give until it reaches this critical mass where people just feel like, they have to pay you money just because you've given them so much, for free. So, uh, yeah. Anyway, so all right. Let's see here. All right. So continuing to think along the lines of the three V's, right? Visibility, viability, and value. Um, Referrals help to build that value in your business, because if if it is systematized, it's almost like, you know, to the extent that it goes with the business if the business sells, right? And that's is part of the system that's baked in, and that having that is makes the business way more valuable to the next buyer, right? If you think about it, it may be the case that that the current owner has a special relationship with the client, but if everything is documented, if the the processes are, if it's systematized, as far as the delivery is concerned and all that kind of stuff, then the odds are good that the delivery portion is going to continue, when the business sells, and therefore the good feelings, with the customers, and that referral process is going to go along with it. Um, it's just one of another. It becomes part of the lead generation system of the business, right? And again, that has value and builds predictability in the business. you know um, People looking to buy businesses want to see uh, consistent sales over time, right? And if you're able to generate that, and one of the key components of that is this referral system that you build up in your business. Fantastic, right? Imagine how many others out there do not have that, you know. uh, so
Yeah, the key is that consistency. Keep the pipeline flowing. New leads, new clients, new leads, new clients coming all the time.
yeah, and also, one of the things that we didn't really mention yet, it is the cost savings involved by having referrals as a lead source in your business, right? It's costs a lot less, right? Because you're not having to go out and spend money on lead generation to acquire new leads. They are being referred to you for free, you know. Um,
Or low
It's
cost if you're
or low cost.
incentivizing your
Yeah.
clients to
Right.
refer. I have a
Yeah.
scenario where, you give a gift to your clients, say a $30 gift card that client goes on to Amazon, uses that gift card to buy themselves a book. And then they take a picture of the book and they post it up on their social for their 4,000 followers to see and say, look at what my coach gave me. This is so wonderful. They're so great. Next thing you know, you're getting all these DMs from these people going, oh wow, you seem like a good person. Like, let me see you.
Yeah.
Just that one post and that $30 gift can net you, 4 new clients.
Yeah. Totally worth it.
So it's totally worth it. You can't get that from ads.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I'll talk about, I mean, yeah, nothing else has that kind of ROI, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so just as a recap, don't hope for referrals, okay? Build it into the system, orchestrate them. Um, Build systems that make it easy for people to refer you. Use Think about things through the V3 lens, right? Visibility gets you noticed, viability gets them to act, and value grows through trust, but also grows through referrals, right? um, okay, so for our call to action here, take the growth ceiling assessment. If you feel like you have hit that ceiling with your head and you're trying to figure out what's going on, it will show you the path that you're on and the steps that you should take next. And yeah, anything else, Simone?
That's it. You need help building out a referral system. You need help designing it or just figuring out your customer journey.
Yeah.
Reach out to us and we will
Yep.
help you. Book a session.
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
All righty. Thank you for watching today, and we will see you next time. Don't forget to put your biggest takeaways in the comments section. We'll see you next time.